What up? Hey guys, welcome back. We are here for our second ever episode. My name's Blake. I'm here with my co-host ATL Joe, aka Joe Maskery. Joe, how are we feeling today?
Oh man, I'm feeling great. Had a great weekend. We finally got some football, some soccer back in our lives. It's been a long, sad roller coaster ride of 3 months, and they're finally got our boys back on the field.
Man, it was so good to get that taste out of my mouth from that last game. Got another game on the belt. Although it was underwater at a baseball field. But, you know, I really was so happy to see our boys back on the field this week.
We got a new segment of Beer of the Week. Beer of the Week!
Every week.
Every week. I hit up this great brewery. It's called Gate City Brewing Company, OTP. We give love to Outside the Perimeter, too. A little Aw Deuce.
Okay, where's this out of? What part of OTP?
Roswell, Georgia.
Roswell, like the place that Tata has the key to the city. I don't know if you saw that news article.
That's wonderful,
Tata Martino.
I did not see him at this brewery, but I would love to. Tata and players, why are you not there when I'm around town? I want to see you. I want to meet you.
We'd love to have you on the show.
Anyways, our beer this week is Aw Deuce. It is a triple IPA.
Double, triple?
It's a triple juicy India Pale Ale.
We've been talking a lot of baseball from the game this weekend, so double, triple.
It gets the
baseball
double
terminology.
Anyways, I brought my Golden Spike again. This week I got a hammer.
Oh, no.
And let's see if we can give him a good old ATL chant to open this beer.
I'm really scared.
A-T-L.
Wow. That
it worked.
That worked. I mean, I don't...
It worked.
Did you just open the beer after the chant, or did the chant itself open the beer?
No, it's a wonderful beer.
I think the chant opened the beer.
The chant opened the beer.
So you said,
have you had yours yet?
Yeah, no, I'm just now.
It's a great. It really does have a really nice juicy IPA flavor.
That's what it says on the can.
Yeah,
I think triple juicy India Pale Ale. This is fantastic.
Comes in 4 packs of a 16-ounce can, 10.5%. Alcohol by volume. It's pretty strong, but
we're in trouble.
As you drink it, it does not taste like that 10.5%. I think it's a great beer to drink at a barbecue. Maybe mix it up with some barbecue chicken, and then even if they have a good sweet dessert, like a salty sweet combination, would go great with the beer.
Yeah, or you could just drink the beer.
Yeah,
that's great.
Drink
fantastic beer. Aw Deuce, out of Roswell.
Out of Roswell at Gate City Brewing Company. Go check them out. It's a really cool garage theme. They got 18 beers on tap, keep rotating. Wonderful bartenders. I met this guy Britt up there. He hooked me up with a sweet shirt. They got their Atlanta United season ticket holders there, so you gotta go hang out with them. Check out their shirt. We put it on pictures online. I gave it to our producer Britt, the female. Don't get them mixed up. And she loves the shirt. It's got a Gate City mixed with Atlanta United, and it's got the number 17 on the back.
17.
Yeah, I suggest if you have a soccer team around the Roswell area, go get a load of them and make yourself the Gate City soccer team. Well, that'd be pretty cool.
You know, this weekend was awesome. I had a great time. That's awesome. You got to check out a new brewery in Roswell. You know how long they've been around? Have they been around? They're pretty new?
They're new, but 3 years in the making.
Okay, cool.
So they're about on 3 years, but they're just getting their name out there. And I really suggest go and see them. Go look for their beers in the store. But Let's look at the Nashville game. We had a wonderful game back into the season.
Yeah, I got to watch this game and really excited to see our guys back on the pitch. I was hanging out at Brewhouse. It was streaming at Brewhouse. It was actually someone's phone was plugged in the TV. There with a couple friends from out of town. Great weekend. Resurgence always brings numbers to Brewhouse, but a lot of the other supporters groups were there as well. For those who couldn't make it, unlike Britt, our producer, who were all super jealous, made it out.
She made it to the swamp.
Baseball, pond, whatever you want to call it. It was quite a little, it was underwater football. But really cool to see our fan support from Nashville this weekend. I never have seen, a team quite take off and really show traveling support this quickly. Granted, we're a brand new club. But at the same time, going into our second year, we encounter another brand new club, and they have great fan support as well. So got to give a shout-out to Nashville. Their fans brought it as well.
Fans. Wonderful fans. They looked like they were having a great time out there.
Yeah, from what Britt said, it was just really cool to see. We probably were 20 to 40 to maybe 50% of the fans in the stadium. But either way, Nashville brought a great supporters group.
They were so excited to have a team finally back in their city.
Yeah.
They were ready to play, and they had their own supporters groups. The roadies. Yeah, man. And honestly, I just got news of this today, is that due to the demand for tickets for the first game for Nashville post Atlanta United, they're actually moving it to the Titans Stadium from the NFL. That's wonderful.
To demand. Yeah, the baseball field, they're like, that didn't really work.
They got to follow Atlanta's lead.
Anyone that watched the game saw that didn't really work. But they're moving to the Titans Stadium for their first game. I don't think that Nashville is going to be one of those rivalries like that we have with Orlando where we really hate them. I mean, maybe it will be down the road.
Give them some time to get into the MLS.
Right now, they seem like a pretty good crew to grab a beer with.
Right now, they're like our little brother.
And I am all for their success. I'm all for their expansion. And once they join the MLS, all right, then let's beat them down. But let's bring a few more teams, in the collective South, if you will, into the mix. And Nashville is a great expansion team. Really excited to see them grow and take off as a club, especially once they get that brand new stadium in Nashville. But this was a fun game. But man, this was a nasty game.
It was a slosh pit.
It was a slip and slide.
It was so wet and ridiculous out there. It was like going to the pool during your teenage summer vacations.
It was like, oh man, those were great. You remember just like ice pops? I just remember ice pops by the pool. You're hanging out, and I think what we saw.
They didn't have refs this game. They had lifeguards.
Is we had lifeguards. We should have had a diving board. Someone should have been applying sunscreen because it might as well have been a summer pool. That's what I took from this game. There was a moment where Joseph Martinez slid in and probably should have gotten a red card, if we're being honest. And it looked like the most fun slip and slide from my childhood.
Yeah, but he slid in during Adult Swim.
Right. And,
so it was okay.
And cleats up. It should have been a red, straight red. We need to get a red card for the show, Like, if I could pull a red card up, get a little red card audio clip, Yeah. We'll bring that in next week, guys. But, I think that we saw a lot this game from our team. It was beautiful to see our traveling support.
Yeah, do you have your favorite player of the game? Who would you give that to?
Man, the supporters. I'm just kidding. But Darlington Nagbe played a great game. It was great to see our supporters with the smoke bomb out there in the outfield. Just the numbers we brought.
Oh, darling.
I don't know if
Nagbe.
I don't know if that's gonna work. We're gonna have to work on a Darlington Nagbe chant. We're gonna have to work on maybe a Nagbe
no
nickname.
Beatles.
I don't know at this point. I don't know what's gonna work for his chant. We can work on it. But email us. Just a quick shout out if you want to let us know a Nagbe chant or a Nagbe nickname. We'd love to hear it. ATLiensUnited@gmail.com.
Hit us up.
But I think that Nagbe had a fantastic game. I know he was most people's players of the game, people that really broke it down. What I noticed was he was brilliant in possession. He was brilliant in one-on-ones, breaking out of the midfield and really creating for, our forwards. And he had one go off. He had one go off the post.
Rocket off the post.
He set up our winning goal. It was an assist there to Vasquez.
Beautiful.
So, he had a great volley, fantastic volley.
Oh, yeah. Easily could have been the play of the game if it went in.
And every time he got the ball, it's kind of like, in their prime when you watch these great midfielders of all the great clubs around the world. It kind of felt like, man, I just feel calm when Nagbe has the ball. I feel like he's gonna control, he's gonna hold possession, and he's gonna distribute accurately, and really create chances for us. And with our attack, I just think he's going to thrive in this role. I think we saw a glimpse of Nagbe. He played almost the whole game. I thought he was fantastic. Darlington Nagbe is my player of the game. What about
Would
you,
you
Joe?
say he's your darling?
We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there quite yet. There's people that would be mad if I said that.
No, Darlington was great. I thought he actually got off to a slow start, and then as the game went on, he built up and became a great player. But a guy, the whole team got off to a slow start, and a guy that I thought kind of went under the radar, maybe not a lot of people picked up on, that came out of the gates ready to go was Jeff Larentowicz.
Larry.
Big Red. Yeah, he came out. There was a play early on in the game. Julian Gressel lost possession in a poor pass.
Kind of a rough game.
They started a 4-on-3 fast break, and instantly Jeff Larentowicz stepped up and stopped that counterattack. And he had about 4 or 5 moments in that first half where he stopped a counterattack, slid in, stopped the ball, and he came in as the captain of the game because Parkhurst unfortunately couldn't make it. And he came in as the captain, played center back instead of that center defensive mid role. And I'm not going to give it up to McCann. He really did not help out in that center defensive mid at the beginning.
Yeah,
and Larentowicz really stepped up to solidify that back end. There was a play in the second half where they were about to come back and score. They had a one-on-one chance, and Larentowicz ran the guy down, slowed him down, and had our defense come back and stop the counter dead in its tracks. He did that about 4 or 5 times throughout the day. I really got to give it up. He didn't come out slow like the rest of the team.
Yeah, what I saw from Larry was what we've come to expect from him in a defensive midfielder role. And that's something I guess we'll get into as the season develops is, what is Larry? What is Jeff Larentowicz? Is he a center back? Because this is where he was featured this game. I know when the starting lineups were released, I was like, oh, okay. Larry's at center back. Where's Parkey? But we're good.
I thought it was really telling sign that he started at center back. I know Parkhurst was out, but it's really a sign that Tata wants to use him as our depth piece, like it was planned on early in the season when we were going to have Carmona and Larentowicz was clearly going to be on the bench. I think that their plan all along is to put him at center back. And now we're thinking, this is a preseason to test out who our number 6 is going to be. Are we going to go out and get a replacement? Hot news is that Yamil Assad's money just went into our bank account, so now we're big spending.
The account. Hit the account.
So maybe we'll go out and get a number 6, but also we got 3 more games this coming a weekend to kind of see if anybody can really step up, and maybe Parkhurst is back and we can push Larry at the 6 and give him a shot there.
Yeah, 3 trial runs for the people that are kind of on the fringe of our starting 11.
Yeah.
While we're talking about the starting 11, let's break down the starting 11 of this match. What were you surprised by? For me personally, obviously losing out some guys to slight injuries / fitness. I know that Tito Viaba was held out with that abductor injury.
Right, Tito was out. Franco Escobar was also held out, and Michael Parkhurst. All 3 of those are presumably starters automatically.
I'd say right now as we stand, all 3 guys are going to be starting. Escobar at right back, Parkhurst at center back, and then obviously we know Tito plays on the right or the left, just depending on where Barco lines up. But
that's true.
But we got 2 excellent wingers or wide midfielders, however you want to describe them, that are gonna provide that width to our team. Right.
In this game, Nashville, we ended 3-1. We got the victory, but I was really expecting us to come out hot and heavy. I predicted a score of 6-0.
Yeah, I remember that. You sent me a text. You're like 6-0, and I'm sitting there. I was a few beers deep.
Maybe chalk it up to the rain. Chalk it up to the new team. Everyone was getting used to each other. You had Barco start on the left. Long awaited that roller coaster off season Barco watch. He finally got on the field, and he kind of had flashes of brilliance out there, but he also was a little not getting along well with the teammates for the first game. Him and Garza didn't really link up
The
well.
chemistry wasn't quite there.
The chemistry wasn't there, but then he had a good solid free kick. He made great contact. He had great runs. He had a really great chance that he put just past the right side of the post.
He almost had one.
Yeah, so I mean, you can definitely see he was very exciting when he got on the ball, very electric player, and he really needs more time to kind of build the chemistry around the players. So that's exciting. He only played 45 minutes.
Yeah. So break it down just to like look at it from a bigger perspective.
Do you want the good or the bad first?
I think we should start with the bad.
Give me the bad.
I think personally, and again,
I briefly just mentioned this at the beginning of the game. Chris McCann, what are you doing at the 6?
Oh, McCann had a rough game.
I love your personality, but dude, you are a liability in the middle of the field.
He was terrible.
Now, granted, it was a soggy field, tough conditions, and
swamp.
I do want to highlight they moved him around all over the game, and he started out rough at the 6. They brought in Kratz later. And he played a little bit of left wing, and then he played a little bit of left back, and they moved Garza up to the left wing. Did you notice that?
I don't even know what McCann is.
Yeah.
I don't. If someone was like, held a gun to my head, said, Blake, what position is McCann? I'd be like, left back?
That's where I would want to see him.
I don't know. I don't know. No one knows.
Right.
So, yeah, that's a great point.
And another bad, I really want to focus on this. Maybe not give him too much slack because it's his first time, but Saul Zizzo.
Aww.
We just brought him onto the team.
Aww.
And maybe I'm a little sour because he stole my favorite player. He stole Carmona's number.
That's his first day.
He stole 14.
It's like your first day at school making fun of the guy. It's like, yeah, give him some time. That's my take.
Right.
Okay, yeah, he's got a stupid haircut and what is that backpack? But it's his first day of school.
First day of school. Okay, we'll give him a pass here.
Bad
conditions.
He's sitting all alone at lunch.
Yeah.
Let's not hate on Zizzo
I don't know if
today.
anybody wanted to sit next to him.
I don't want to hate on Zizzo today. He might smell a little weird. It doesn't matter.
All right.
Let's give Zizzo a hall pass.
We're giving Zizzo a hall pass. Let's move on to the good because we want to talk about our lovely players.
There's a lot of good.
And you mentioned Nagby, who had a great game. I thought
Darling. No, I'm not calling him that yet.
There we go. But let's move on to Brandon Vasquez coming in, getting a goal. Nagby gave him the sweet assist, and Vasquez had a sweet little chip over the goalie.
Beautiful goal.
Yeah. He had a wonderful time coming in as a sub. But who else did we miss out on starters?
Man, okay, so let's just break it down. That front three, we had Barco, we had Martinez, and then who do we have starting on the right wing?
We had Julian Gressel.
Gresselmania.
Honestly,
I thought Gressel had a average game. Can I say that?
I would actually put him more towards the bad category.
Hey, man, we're done with the bad. Let's turn a new page. Okay, that was our front three.
Yeah, but then LGP played the most of all the starters.
Yeah, at center back.
I don't remember if he went the full 90 or if they subbed him out late, but he played the very most minutes of all the starters.
LGP went close to 90.
He was solid. The goal that they had, well, let's give a little shout out to Rapapa Mensah.
Rapapa Mensah, that is the second most fun name to say.
20-year-old out of Ghana, and they signed him just last week or 2 weeks ago. He had a couple of issues coming over through customs. Ghana didn't really want to let him go to the USA, but he made it. He played 15 minutes, throws in a goal.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah.
At the game.
He was there.
He made it through customs.
And I will say they had a little fast break, counterattack.
That was a great goal.
And LGP had to slide over to cover a player, and you had Larry and you had McCann trying to backtrack to catch Mensah, who just shot past him like he burst out of a cannon. And then chipped it in. Beautiful goal. First goal Nashville will remember for years to come.
And that was once Brad the Wall, Guzan was out. So
yeah, this was second half.
Yeah,
now.
we had brought in Alec Can, or is it Alec Khan?
Oh, it's Can.
Can. Okay.
It's probably Can.
Maybe one day we can get him on the show, get him to pronounce his name properly.
Yeah, I know Britt, our producer, who was at the Nashville game. She loves saying Khan. Mainly because of the Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, well, Khan's great. I ran into, I know you like to think that I'm just making all this up, but I do run into keepers a lot. I ran into him at a place I used to live at, Chattahoochee Coffee Company. Right.
Did you ask for an interview?
River. I didn't know we were even doing a podcast at that
Come
point.
on!
But, I didn't say his last name. I just said, hey, Alec, you guys are doing great. This was before we'd even signed Brad. So, I was a little fanboy there. But, he seems like a great guy. He's going to be in a real backup battle with Hildebrandt this year. It'll be interesting to see who ends up as that backup keeper to Brad, because obviously no one's dethroning Brad. But who's going to end up in that number 2 keeper spot that sits on the bench week in, week out, and who's going to probably drop down to United 2?
So we'll see. That's a big preseason battle that we got going on between those two.
I think that's a huge preseason battle. These next 3 games should shine a huge light on that, because I don't think Brad might get the first 45 in a couple of these games, but I think Tata wants to see who his backup keeper is going to be. Because you remember the game, I believe Brad was out with the national team. Was it against Minnesota United?
Yeah.
It probably cost us a first-round bye in the playoffs. And
it was against Minnesota United. You had Kyle Rainish come in, and he got a red card.
We got a red card from a keeper, and then we
got
brought
Tim
in
Bacchus.
And he gave up, 2 goals in the last minute. That Minnesota game, I think, was at our first loss at Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, after we went on 7-game win streak.
And everyone in, greater Atlanta area was saying, who the heck is our backup keeper?
Yeah, we went to our 4th-string keeper that game.
We went to our 4th-string keeper. At that point, I guess Alec Can had been loaned out to Charleston after he'd been injured and then injured again.
And never made it back.
So, I think backup keeper it's like, oh, okay, casual United fan, backup keeper. Why does it matter?
So keep an eye out this week at Charleston Challenge Cup between the keeper battle for backup.
Yeah, I think we could have won the cup this year.
Other
with a good
backups,
backup keeper.
Other backups I want to mention from this Nashville game. One of my favorites. He only played about 10 minutes at the end of the game. Was Chris Gosselin, and we were going on that center defensive mid. He came in at the number 6, and I really think he looked solid. It was very, very small sample size. You can't judge on that small sample size, but he looked like he shored up the team, and maybe Nashville was tired at that point, and it was still a slosh fest. But Gosselin was he was confident, 17-year-old kid. Everyone's talking about Andrew Carlton, who is a phenom, and I can't wait to see him. But I also want to see our other phenom in Chris Gosselin. He came in as a little stud, and honestly, I would put him above all our others. And it only takes 1 or 2 injuries, and maybe he will be featured. He's a big guy that they're talking about featuring him in Atlanta United 2 this season. But I don't see why not give him if we don't go out and sign another center defensive mid, I want to see Gosselin on our bench. Yeah,
and I mean, just for our listeners unfamiliar with kind of how we're setting up this year is last year we didn't have a USL team, which is kind of that subdivision of the MLS. And this year, we announced we're coming out with United 2. It's going to be a great opportunity to develop some of this youth talent that we got. And Gosselin's a prime example. But then again, Joe, I'm going to go back to the fact that I don't think the front office really prepared to let go of Carmona this offseason. Obviously, we talked about it last episode.
I did not prepare to let go of Carmona this weekend.
I know. I'm sorry.
This season.
I didn't mean to make you cry.
It hurts me right over my Atlanta United heart.
Well, I want to take a second and appreciate Carmona. I'm not going to have a moment of silence, but I just want to say, Joe, cheers to Carlos.
Cheers to Carlos.
Could you give us one final?
You want me to do it again?
I want you to do it one more time.
Carmona!
That's beautiful.
May your jersey ever rest in Sal Zizzo's back.
Or in Coca-Cola, which is kind of fun to say. Isn't that where he went to? In that club?
Yeah, he went to Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. Hey, he's staying in Atlanta. He's staying in Atlanta. But, I think that, like I said, the front office didn't prepare to let go of this guy. And who knows? I mean, we're saying United 2. A guy like Gosselin, if he comes out these next 3 games, he gets a little more playing time.
Mm-hmm.
He excels in that defensive midfield role.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe it'll happen.
I mean, everyone says the MLS is transitioning. This is kind of the phase where the MLS is transitioning from. We're an old retiree from European League. Kind of, okay, go to America. Like, hey, old guy, Lampard, Gerrard. Hey, you guys get to America,
Bring on the young guys.
Even David Beckham at the end, But right now we're turning into a developmental league.
I've got a young guy to mention. He's my last good, and he's going to be my player spotlight of the week.
Bam.
Just got his green card. He's got a great nickname, Super Romario. Super Romario Williams came in. He got a goal, solidified. Did you see that right foot slotted it, nailed it to the back of the net?
He was a rebound.
Yeah, and it was amazing rebound. This kid is 23 years old, coming out of Jamaica. We loaned him out to Charleston Battery.
I'm watching the goal, Joe. I'm watching the goal right now.
Yeah.
I could have scored it.
All right, well.
I'm just saying.
Let's throw you in there, goalie.
Dang it, you're right.
But little Super Romario,
you're right.
He is one guy I'm extremely excited about. He came in from Jamaica. We loaned him to Charleston last year. 15 goals, 3 assists. He only played about 23 games. That's a little bit of Joseph Martinez level. This kid, I'm telling you, he has got the height. He's bigger than Joseph, but he's got very much similarities to his playing style. He might not be as fast, but he's very good on the ball. He can post up, and he's a very strong right foot. Out of his 15 goals, I think 11 of them were right-footed finishes. He had a couple of lefties, a couple of headers, but he's a good target forward. And he's one of the guys, a lot like Tito I thought of last year, where Tito scored all the time, but maybe not have had the prettiest goals. He got the rebounds. He shot one off the goalie and put his own rebound in. Or then out of nowhere, he would blast one from out deep and make it big. Romario Williams reminds me a lot of Tito in that result. And I think with the green card that he just got, that really solidifies it. Atlanta United is planning on using him as Joseph's backup for the season, and he's really deserved it.
So let's talk about that. I mean, just for a second, the team kind of almost released a press release on the fact that they got Super Romario a green card.
Super Romario,
and what you also get is you get something where, okay, well that frees up an international spot. So that raises, a question mark. And
right.
It comes out with the news that Assad was just sold, which is money in the bank. So you got to ask yourself, okay, is the front office still looking to bring someone in this offseason to maybe fill that Carmona role? I know we talked about Gosselin. I know we talked about Larry. Center defensive mid, to me personally, is a giant question mark.
I'm going to go ahead and answer that. I 100% expect within this next week we bring in a player that nobody's mentioned yet. Just like last year when Carmona came into the league.
Great example.
When Joseph came in, they came in back-to-back. No one rumored either of them coming to Atlanta, and then boom, they signed them.
2 of our best players.
Yeah. So I fully expect that to happen this week, especially now that we got that money from Yamil and we got an open spot from Carmona. We got money to spend. And you know what? ATL don't stop.
ATL don't stop.
5 stripes don't stop.
We're just waiting for that cryptic Darren Eales tweet. That's what we're waiting on. Once he tweets something cryptic, we know, okay, something might go down today. And that's a position for me. If we don't make a signing in that position, I'm not going to be upset. I think that Larry, maybe with Gosselin slotting in his backup, can do a great job. But like I said, that would be the position I expect us to fill. And I think our front office has proven they're not afraid to pull the trigger.
That's great. Romario scored a goal. Vasquez scored a goal. I don't know if we mentioned Joseph scoring up a goal, kicking it off of a water tee.
Yeah, well, doesn't Joseph always score goals?
Joseph always scores goals. And did something else happen with Joseph before the season?
I don't know. I think when he's blonde, Joseph always scores goals. You know what we haven't even talked about is the Joseph Martinez. Man, that was awesome.
Holy flat top Batman.
I was skeptical of this flat top. He came out, caught him on Snapchat, caught him on a team pic.
I thought he was going to try out for the NBA when he came out with it.
Dude, I mean, a flat top? I mean, if you caught us last episode, we highlighted how successful Joseph Martinez was as a blonde.
Right.
Player.
Have you seen, but let's talk about this NBA thing for a second. Have you seen his ups? Guy jumps outside this world.
Okay, was it the header July 4th to win us the game? I don't know if you remember that. I think we were playing San Jose. Wondolowski scored an incredible goal.
You brought up a Wando.
I brought up a Wando goal.
I'll drink to that one.
I brought up a Wando goal. I don't remember who closed it. I know Joseph had his best header of the year, 4th of July. I was there. My little brother was there. I lost it. That was my favorite game of the entire season was Bobby Dodd, 4th of July.
That was a fun one.
Little fireworks show afterwards. We saw his ups. But with this flat top, he's taking it to the next level.
Well, not to mention, he's a short guy, so he might not want to be scouted by NBA teams, but the flat top adds like 4 inches.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it right now. I'm saying...
Now he's like 5'8".
I'm saying he might be pushing 5'10".
Oh.
He might be pushing 5'10". Joseph, if you're listening, and not your best hairstyle, but I really, really appreciate that you stuck with the blonde. Now, unfortunately for Joseph... We gotta, sometimes weather is gonna affect your hairstyle.
Yeah, so he went from the flat top to the sad top.
Yeah, the flat. He went flat top to flat,
Yeah.
And thankfully he still scored a goal. And I'm gonna attribute that to the blonde nature of his hairstyle. I think he thought the flat top was gonna bring him some mojo. He doesn't realize yet at this point in the season, and it's preseason, so I'm not counting this in my Joseph Martinez goals tally per hairstyle. But I don't think he realizes that he's more successful as a blonde. Because, he rocked that periwinkle for a little while last year.
He rocked I called it the Cisco.
And you know what happened?
He took a disco.
He went down and to the disco. He didn't get down. He went down. He got hurt with the periwinkle hairstyle. He was out 3 months. And he only had a 4 or 5 goal return with the periwinkle as compared to, probably triple that as a blonde. But more on the hairstyle.
But maybe he did this blonde thing because he's got a little special Valentine out there.
Yeah,
he sent out a little pic to the fans.
Honestly, he's embarrassed about this. He's admitted.
Why should he be embarrassed? I think he looks good.
I don't know if you guys have checked it out. It's all over the web.
You gotta say a little, hey, JoJo.
If you frequent the ATL United subreddit, you can find a good pic of Joseph with a rose in his teeth, making a. Can I try to imitate it? He goes behind, and then if we had a full body, he kind of pops the chest out. I don't know what he's going for, but I
think he's trying to put a little sweetheart in every little 14-year-old boy's mind.
He's got full blonde, and maybe kind of looks like Miley Cyrus, haircut a little bit. I don't know. It
sounds like you're hating on it.
Joseph, please just keep it blonde. As long as he keeps it blonde, he's in fantastic goal scoring.
As long as he keeps scoring goals, he's a fantastic goal scorer.
So, the rose, I'm not going to let the rose affect me.
Hashtag.
We're going to keep rocking. Ladies, if you're single on Valentine's Day, you should definitely get online and check out Joseph's picture with the rose in between his teeth. Yeah, that's all. That's really a got on Joseph. We'll see what he rocks in Charleston, but I'm excited.
Yeah, next week we got Charleston Challenge Cup coming up. This is the 14th season of the Charleston Challenge Cup. And it's the season 2 for Atlanta United. They welcomed us back with open arms.
It's our old USL team.
It is our old ATL2, a.k.a. Charleston Battery.
Exactly.
It's Romario Williams got his start there for United States Soccer. Andrew Carlton started there. He started at 16-year-old Andrew Carlton, youngest player to ever play professional USL soccer. And now he's one of our own.
Give him some
Andrew
time.
Carlton. He is one of our own. I can't wait for this Charleston Challenge Cup. It's fun. And if any of you want to go, hit up your local, any of your supporters groups. Terminus Legion has blocked out over 100 tickets. Resurgence, I know, is doing something faction. And Britt can probably tell you about Footy Mob. Go to their websites. If you haven't signed up for a supporters group, do it. They're great. It's cheap, 20 to 30, maybe 40 if you want to spend a little more. And you get all the tailgates. And they've got watch parties. Speaking of this Charleston Challenge Cup, we got first game is a rematch with the ugly, the horrible Columbus crew.
I don't want to talk about the crew because, one, yes, I want them to stay in Austin.
That's the last loss we're ever going to have is last year.
As I mentioned at the beginning, I'm not over that loss. I'm just not. And a preseason, even if we win in a preseason game, is not going to get me over it. Joe and I had a rough playoff game against the Crew.
Yeah, we cannot. That shall not be mentioned. What happened after that game?
Maybe we can disclose some of the details later on in further episodes, but that was probably one of Joe
hit us
and
up on
I's-
our email. Maybe we'll give you a little discreet bio of what happened after that game. It did not end well for our season. It did not end well for Blake and I.
Yeah. Joe and I were in a pit of despair. We were in a pit of misery.
Anyways,
we were in a dark place that game.
We get our first chance at redemption, and we'll throw out Carlton. We'll throw out Gosselin, Romario Williams, Vasquez, Alec Can, the Wrath of Khan. They're all going to be playing in this game.
Got to get them on the show.
And they're all going to be scoring. Even Can. Can.
Okay. We get
it.
We're getting them on the show.
They're playing this Saturday. Go check them out. They'll be on BN Sports. Lovely that BN Sports picking up a preseason game of the MLS.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. If you don't have BN Sports, go to your local bars. I know Blake hits up Brewhouse all the time. They're always showing the game. Re-Roz is definitely a place that'll show the game.
Yeah.
Fado. All your local pubs. Der Beer Garden is a big, I think they're a resurgent watch group. Hit up Der Beer Garden. They'll probably be showing the game.
Yeah.
And I know on Wednesday when we play Minnesota United, Terminus Legion is throwing a watch party for at Re-Roz.
Yeah, I know you'll be there.
So if you're a member of Terminus Legion, I'll be there on Wednesday. Hit me up. Go hit up Terminus Legion. Go to the watch party at Re-Roz. They got drink and food specials. We can watch us beat Minnesota Lesser United. And and then next week they're playing on Saturday against Charleston.
Yeah, our old B squad.
Yeah. And last year Charleston took up the cup, so maybe we can continue our undefeated 2018 revenge party, and we're going to win every single game this year. Starting with the Charleston Challenge Cup.
That's a bold statement. It's just preseason. We're trying to build up fitness. So let's keep our eyes on the prize. I really think with time, this team's going to come together. We're going to figure out that solid starting 11. I'd still hold out for one or two more moves. I really would.
I know that this tournament they're going to do a lot of fitness. Watch for the choice starting 11 playing against one of these MLS teams, either be it the first game, but I bet it might be more towards the Wednesday game. Look for Barco and Tito Villalba. I hope we would love to see him get back in the game and hope that injury is not good. Look for Franco Escobar, a kid I am so excited to see playing at that right back. I hope none of these injuries are bad. And I bet you one of these games, it'll be a lot like what they wanted to do in Nashville, Nash Vegas. But they want to play the starters for a good 50, 60, maybe 70 minutes, get them fully fit for game one, going to Houston. And, Blake, tell me, I heard you got a sweet deal. You're going to our first game opener, season opener. Yeah. I'm jealous. I may jump on the trip if I have the ability to, but I know I'm going to a wedding at that time, so maybe I can bail on the wedding and go to the game.
I don't know, man. I'm so excited. I know I mentioned last week I was like, I would kill to go to this game.
Right.
And there's a couple things coming up this week. I'm so excited, about one is this kind of open tryout coming up with, we had a player come in from Atlanta, from the American Family Insurance tryout. I know he just signed for United too.
Played for Kentucky.
I think that's a super incredible thing that they did, and who knows where this
They've
goes.
done this 2 years in a row. They've had an open tryout. You had to pay $150, and I told myself I would do it, and my cheap ass did not do it.
Joe, can I ask you you really thought you got a chance?
Who knows? They signed one kid. And
I don't know how many of our listeners are watching the video feed, but if you've taken a look at Joe and I mean, we're clearly in our prime.
Yeah,
and I think we both could have made not United 2, which this kid made, but I think we're first team material.
I think I could have made USA's World Cup team.
Yeah. Well,
because they're not in the World Cup.
Right. I was going to say you could have definitely made the World Cup squad.
And that's why I'm sitting here drinking deuce.
Yeah. So, another thing coming up is this trip to Houston. I'd like to throw a shout out.
Please shout it out.
Okay, so I don't know how many of our listeners frequent the Atlanta United subreddit. I'm on there one morning and I see this deal. The original poster he goes by the alias of Potato Riot. He's like, hey guys, I figured out this trip to Houston. It's $80 round trip. $80 round trip. I'm like,
$80 round trip.
What?
That's awesome.
That's incredible.
To and from Houston.
And he's like, and I know the ticket rep in Houston. Call him up. $24 ticket, no fees. Like, I called him up, gave him my credit card info. He sent me the tickets. Bam. So I'm going to Houston for, I guess, what, $104 if my math serves me right. And
are you going with your supporters group?
yeah, man, I joining up with Resurgence down there.
Oh, fun.
Bringing, I think, close to 150-ish, 200 people of Atlanta United fans. We're all in one section. It's
they
gonna be
announced
fantastic.
last week that they already had over 150 Resurgence members confirmed going.
So, man, fantastic opportunity for us to just bring the heat on an away game.
And Terminus Legion, Faction, and Footy Mob are all bringing their forces.
Showing up, man.
And the rest of the fans who don't want to align with the supporters group are going too.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be nuts.
Easily, we could have over 1,000 fans there, which would be amazing.
Hopefully, we rock it out. I'm super excited even about the plane ride. I know there's gonna be tons of Atlanta United fans on the plane. We're heading to Houston and we're gonna bring the noise. We're gonna bring the heat, and I am so excited about this game.
So Blake will throw up a link on our website, ATLiensUnited.com. He'll throw up a link on the plane flight and where to get tickets, and feel free to go check it out and go check out your supporters groups.
I don't know if it's sold out. I'm just saying, how can you get a road trip any cheaper?
It's in Houston. They're not sold out. They're not Atlanta.
Can you get a road trip any cheaper? But they have a great stadium. I did some research on it. I'm really excited to go and check it out. It's an intimate soccer only or football only, depending on what part of the world you're from. Venue.
And they were solid last year. They made it to the semifinals.
It's gonna be a tough game.
Yeah, Hugo Torres. They got a couple other players we'll feature right before the game.
Yeah, but we're gonna bring the noise. I can guarantee you that. Now that I know I'll be there, if you guys see me, say what's up.
Yeah,
I'll buy you a beer if I have any money left in my wallet from the trip. I'm trying to budget myself.
Another place they can meet you, Blake, is next week. You were one of the lucky ones. You got tickets to the training session,
and it's on my birthday.
It's on your birthday too.
Yeah, man, it's coming right up. It's here, honestly.
Any of our listeners going to the training session on Thursday?
Yeah,
go find Blake in the crowd. Hit him up. Tell him you like the show.
I might have a GoPro with me.
Yeah. You could get on the show next week.
But no, I'm excited about this open training session at our brand new beautiful facility.
What's going on there?
I think it's going to be a little Barco press conference, which I heard he doesn't speak a ton of English. The boat is going to try to tell us about how excited he is to be in Atlanta. I'm excited to hear the translation.
He's going to tell us about his voyage in Nashville, traveling the seas of the baseball stadium there.
Yeah, traveling the high seas of Nashville, and also just trying to get to our team from Argentina. That was quite the process, and
they're going to announce our new defensive midfielder, 2 Chainz.
Yeah. Oh, man, 2 Chainz, I heard, came out with a little promo today. Who knows what that's all about?
Well, we just got all this Assad money, and we got all this cap room from Carmona leaving.
So we signed 2 Chainz.
2 Chainz coming to Atlanta United.
Man.
Playing number 6, defensive midfielder.
There's our signing we've all been waiting for. But no, New Jersey's rolling out too, possibly. I've heard they're a little bit peachy.
A lot of hype around this New Jersey. A couple leaks.
Maybe they'll unveil them at the open training. So we got a little Barco press conference. Get to check out these the beautiful new facilities that we've built up there. And I'm just excited, man. We have world-class facilities in a market and in a league that might be lacking in that department. I think that's just going to continue to set us apart. We got one of the best stadiums in the world, and this training facility, I've heard, rivals any top European club's training facility. It is world class. I can't wait to check it out for myself. Like I said, if you guys run into me there, and see my ugly mug, just be like, hey, Blake, you suck, or something funny, and I'd love to hang out with you guys.
Blake, I want to raise a glass of Au Deuce across the interface. Give me a cheers.
Adios.
Deuce. I want to thank everybody for listening to our show.
Yeah, thanks for checking
This
us
is
out.
ATLiens United podcast. I want to give a big shout out to our listeners. Big shout out to the supporters groups. You guys are amazing. Terminus Legion, Footy Mob, Faction, and Resurgence.
Yeah, bring the heat,
Big
guys.
time. You guys are awesome. I want to give a big shout out to our front office. You guys are the ones that brought the team to Atlanta. Darren Eels, you're amazing. Interview, please. You're listening to this podcast. Come in for an interview anytime. And everybody, all about the show.
Boca Negra.
Hit us
Doing a
up,
fantastic job.
ATLiensUnited@gmail.com. Send us a question. Send us a comment. We'd be glad to answer it. We'll reply back. We'll feature you on the show. And we love all our listeners. And I want to give a big shout out to Phantomaniacs. Our guy Chuck there, who runs Phantomaniacs, has made some great deals. He made our Brad Guzan flag. You ever see me at the game in the supporters group? The big Brad Guzan flag waving in the air.
The wall.
That was made by Phantomaniacs. He's about to come out with some of our swag for ATLiens United. He makes his own fan comics, anything that you're into. Hit him up. Go to phantomaniacs.com. He's great. He's done a great design. He's going to come out with more stuff that you're going to see that you're going to want.
Good stuff.
Anyways, until next week, I want to say let's unite and conquer. Go Atlanta.
Unite and conquer, Joe. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week.
Cheers.
Deuce. Don't forget it.
Deuces.
Check it out.
Deuce.
Deuce.